Hello, my name is Elijah Hopkins. I'm a senior at Logan County High School. I'm from Adairsville, Kentucky, where I was raised for most of my life. I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, and I did live in Clarksville, Tennessee for 5 years. At which point I did move to Adairsville after when I was around 5 years old. I attended Adairsville Elementary School, kindergarten through 8th grade. There was no split between the elementary and middle. I had a relatively normal childhood, but I never was one for athletics or outdoors for a good period of my life, which I started getting into doing that kind of stuff during middle school. So relatively normal kindergarten through 5th grade, and then middle school happened and I started being a bit more social, I would say. I did love reading, I loved reading, still love reading, and then in middle school I started skateboarding, which I really enjoyed. And then eventually I got into high school, which I would say I pretty easily transitioned into high school because even our high school was relatively not as big as other ones would be. So I knew people from middle school, they were in my classes, I still was able to be sociable and make new friends, but I still normally would stay with the people I knew from my hometown of Adairsville. Freshman year, I really did enjoy my studies. I participated on the academic team. I would consider myself pretty reasonably intelligent for that, and I've always made A's. Freshman year, I would probably say my favorite class was AP Human Geography, just because I really did enjoy the subject. I did enjoy hearing about culture and movement of people and the history of society and civilization and where they were located on the planet. And also because my teacher was just in general a cool dude who knew how to get along with the students. He was very good at teaching us in a way that we could understand and giving us assignments in ways that we could understand. Eventually later in my high school career, I began to participate in more activities. I began to take multimedia classes that I really enjoyed. That happened in sophomore year, second semester, when I took a web design class that got me interested in graphic design and that kind of stuff. I worked on multimedia stuff with that teacher for quite a while. Sophomore year was relatively normal. I had an English class I really enjoyed it. We had a pretty young teacher, so he could get along with the students and connect with us very well. And then my church also was it's not a traditional church. We would do all this kind of new stuff. I ran the audio board, I would film, I would edit videos, I would edit audio, and I really enjoyed doing all of that. So that just sort of built this idea of wanting to pursue a career in multimedia development. Then junior year rolled around and I started working on the school news, which was another thing I really take a lot of pride in. I would consider that the thing that got me into truly wanting to pursue this passion I had. I got more involved in church. That led me to new opportunities. I traveled to Texas at one point for a creative conference that taught me how to work with this kind of stuff. That let me expand my brain for that kind of ideas. Junior year, I took a couple classes that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed my U.S. history class. Like I said, I really do love history. It's just interesting to see how that kind of stuff formed and how we got where we are as people. I also took an AP language class, or AP Lang, with one of my teachers, and I found this passion for writing, and I really do enjoy writing. I love being able to craft my own. That's the thing about me, is I love crafting my own things, such as, like, I'm not much of an artist, but being able to craft my own paper, crafting a video, or photoshopping around and just being able to do that kind of stuff is all stuff I've learned throughout my high school career that I think will help me become more open-minded, maybe, as a word. So yeah, there's that. That's my junior year. And then my senior year, I did journalism. Journalism is allowing me to expand that with doing videos. I can publish these videos that I've crafted to work on the news, so I'm kind of continuing this sort of aspect of continuing the school news, which I think would look pretty well in being able to pursue that. And if I can show that to someone and I can say, hey, I made this, hey, I have experience with this, I think that's really good. Another thing I'm very passionate about that I started pursuing in my high school career is athletics, which is not something I think I would ever have considered myself becoming a part of. Freshman year, as I said earlier, I was, or the rest of my life even, I was never interested in athletics. I would never even begin to believe that I would participate in any athletic sports or anything like that. But my sophomore year, my brother, who was running track at the time, and he was really good at track, got me interested in track and field, which I think was the beginning of just having this community of people who just work together and struggle and go through these times. And I think that really helped me develop as a person and made me very happy to have a team and a group of people to back me. Junior year, I began my cross-country experience, which I think is what just even further expanded that sort of love for this team aspect and just the being able to continue this healthy lifestyle that I've developed. After cross-country ended, of course, I needed some time. I had cross-country no time, then I had track during the spring, so I decided to take up swim. And I wouldn't say I love swim as much as I love cross-country and track, but it was just such a good thing to have in between that will keep you in shape. It's a good thing to keep you from just getting lazy in between seasons. It's also quite possibly one of the best workouts you can receive. It's a full body workout, great for your cardiovascular system. And then track season rolled around. I got back into track, and that was good. And now my senior year, I'm currently in my senior year of cross country, and I think it's going pretty well. I'm not really seeing very much in the way of injuries. I'm seeing a successful season ahead of me. Perhaps not state successful, but successful as for me, PRs and that kind of stuff. And a good season just for my teammates. And just to wrap it up, because that's where I'm at, is just to wrap it up, I'm Elijah Hopkins. I'm a senior at LCHS, and I love reading, running, and swimming.